some experts say a big force pushing Bitcoin prices higher has been higher prices. Dave Chapman is the managing director of cryptocurrency exchange Octagon Strategy. He says Bitcoin could soar much more to above $100,000 by the end of next year. Dave joins us now from Hong Kong. Dave, thank you so much for being with us. First of all, why do you think it's gonna see that kind of jump? It seems like a huge amount of travel in a short time. What's going to drive that price higher?
Yeah, definitely. It's extremely impressive as to the amount of growth and the price appreciation in Bitcoin since the start of this year. I think, Bitcoin's no longer seen as a fad. Even JP Morgan have actually, U-turned on their stance, speculating that it could be almost as valuable and as important as gold. I think, for the traditional finance, historically they've been sitting on the fence. They haven't been able to take a view on Bitcoin. With the, with the implementation or the commencement of Bitcoin futures from both the CBOE and the CME, as soon as this Sunday, traditional finance is going to have to take a view. Historically, they've sat on the sidelines, but as of, as early as this Sunday, they're going to have to say, we're either short Bitcoin, we're long Bitcoin, or they're going to have to sit on the sidelines, but they're going to have to defend that position. And, if you're given the 1,000% price increase in Bitcoin this year alone, I don't think there's going to be that many people confident to actually short this product.
That's not what I've heard from the floor of the CME and other places. There's a feeling that there's an awful lot of people who would actually like to get in and short it and have the chance to, now that it is going to be on some sort of exchange that they're more familiar with. Is this asset mature enough to be able to sort of handle that type of, liquidity, that kind of price volatility? If you get in and start having a lot of people start playing in this, you think it'll hold up?
I think that's a very good question, Maggie. In terms of the liquidity, we've seen this asset class go from a $15 billion market cap to almost now $260 billion. It's still a very, very small asset class when compared to traditional finance. I think this Sunday will be very exciting. I will certainly be watching with a lot of interest, and we'll see what happens.
It's interesting because I think that it's important to sort of differentiate between the future is going to hold a place for some sort of cryptocurrency, and whether you buy into Bitcoin as the one and want to jump in right now. There's a difference between a time frame, and there's a transparency issue here. We have certainly some, we've heard large investors, some traditional types coming out against it. This interested me. Steam, one of the most popular gaming services in the world, says that it's going to stop accepting it, partly because it's too volatile and partly because it's costly, transaction-wise. It doesn't seem to just be coming from the traditional banks, which you could argue have skin in the game and don't want to deal with another type of asset when they've already cornered the market on this one. This is coming from a different place in a community I think would be much more accepting of it.
Sure, that's also a very good point. I think that a lot of people are seeing Bitcoin as a speculative store of value rather than a very efficient medium of exchange. If we have a think back as to where cryptocurrencies are right now, in 1994, less than 0.5% of the population used email. That's exactly where we're at with cryptocurrency. And I think, Bitcoin is considered the internet of money. I think a lot of people, though there are the critics that consider this the tech bubble 2.0, I think a lot of people now, given how much legitimacy is coming into this market with the likes of the CME, with the likes of NASDAQ, the CBOE, and with the positive regulation, I think there's a lot of people now actually trying to take advantage of that first mover advantage. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why we're seeing it so heated right now.
Does regulation eventually have to come in to gain confidence? We keep seeing these thefts of these exchanges. It kind of makes me wonder whether the bank robbers aren't also the ones who are sort of mining it. There doesn't seem to be a lot of transparency or distinction. We don't even know who created it. At some point, does there need to be a little oversight, or does that go against the entire reason that it exists?
I think from a purely libertarian point of view, they would probably consider that regulation's bad. My personal perspective is that regulation is actually needed in this business. You know, the market is still very immature, and it does require some time for us to actually, know what sort of regulation we need in this environment. I do personally believe that we will see better regulation, better consumer protection, and we'll see incidents like the hacking that you've just talked about become less frequent as a result.
Yeah, fascinating points, Dave. I think we all need to keep an open mind, but a healthy degree of skepticism at the same time, if that makes sense. They seem to be opposing, but probably what's needed here. Dave, we need to move on to some other stories. Please come back again next week once they start trading and let us know what you are seeing and what you make of the action. We're going to be following it very closely.
I look forward to it, Maggie.
Dave Chapman
Thank you.
for us. Thank you.